All right, let me just set up my tripod really quick. I moved the nature painting, I think, or printout from the background, so it won't fall this time in the background. Let's go ahead. Start it off. Bring in the high vibrations and the message. All right. So, that's it, boo. Hello, grand rising, grand afternoon, grand evening. Oh, it's all crooked. Let's make it more grand of an afternoon now. Hey! So hello to you all. Let me raise this up a little bit more before I start this message, actually. 1 second. Jeez. Okay. All right. Okay, like balance, please. All right. So, grand rising, grand afternoon, grand evening. I apologize for a bit of disheveled appearance. I was outside 70 degrees in February 5th or 6th, whichever date today is. I've not looked at a calendar or a planner in a while. So, yeah, anyway, this message is intended to be about crystalline DNA and keys of wisdom. So these are very, very important things that I've been able to collect, digest, and process internally, spiritually. And hello in the chat, hi. I want to share this message to the people who it's meant for. So if you don't understand the things that I'm about to talk about, it's fine. You're just not aligned, and it's okay. So hello to all, and my viewers just went from 1 to 24 in a second, so very interesting. Hello to you all. Hi, my name is Jazziel. If you've never seen my page or come across my page before and you just recommended this, hello. I'm someone who has been through a lot in life, and you wouldn't be able to tell that just by looking at me. But let me share a bit about my life from a more evolved perspective now. So I'm 27 years old. Right, this face. 27, yes. I know that. Maybe shocking. I was told that I look 19 when I was on campus last. And I have signed up for a degree program, and I'm going to university. And I'm realizing how unsocialized I've become over the years. And also, I have not been getting high or smoking THC or anything like that for over a week now. And I actually stopped because I'm actually getting tired of this. Yes, I said that to myself. I'm getting tired of going in a cycle. Hello in the chat. So for me, what does that mean? Well, as someone who used to be addicted to opioids and being high every single day and constantly wasting the little amount of money that I was earning on getting high and drugs and such. It's like 1 second, I have to ban this person because they think that they're bigger than the program. No, we don't need that energy here. Thank you. Anyway, so without the distractions, like I was just saying, drugs and being high was a distraction from my purpose. And after getting the ball rolling a little bit more and going into university, after changing my life so much at 27 years old, um, it's quite interesting to look back and I'm not sure. This person just said, guess what in the chat. You know what? I'm just going to scroll all the way up so I don't have to look at the messages. It's very distracting. Oh, okay. Let's recenter. Let's focus. I just went for a walk, so I'm trying to make this message short and to the point. But I'm getting distracted by the chat now, so I'm not going to look at the chat. I'm just going to speak. So for me, I realized that after going to university and being welcomed and actually getting resources and people who are interested in me in a social capacity and trying to get to know me for who I am, instead of, hey, what's your major? Like, people actually want to know more about me, right? And, it's like shocking me a little bit. Thank you for the like. It's like shocking me how much value I actually have and how much real accomplishments and incredible transformations I have made within myself. And it's like almost like I'm reinventing myself once again by going to university. And I'm studying science. I have a degree in science. I have a major and a minor, but the major is sociology. And what is sociology? Thank you for the like. Sociology is the study of social behavior within relationships, communities, societies, and people at large. And as someone who was sexually abused by family, was constantly moved around because their parents were in the military, so they never had, friends longer than a few years. And as someone who was bullied by people in school, classmates, for the intelligence or the behavior that I had shown socially, let's just say that. And as someone who has been through very toxic work environments and unstable living situations, it's really refreshing to feel that people want to interact with me socially in a positive way, and they want to help, and they want to have conversations, right? And they want to be funny and make jokes and have witty banter. And I'm like a little bit abrasive with, the type of language that people have been using with me. And I'm like, oh, wait, why? And what I mean by abrasive with the language people are using towards me, I had missed a few social cues and took a sarcastic comment as literal, and I immediately became defensive, and I took it personally how that person was treating me. And I'm like, wait a minute, why am I taking this personally? Am I missing something here? Is me being tired and not focused and just really in my head about this thing in life? Is that taking away from me seeing clearly right now? Oh, yes, it is. In fact, me being worried about this class, this quiz, this assignment online, this, blah, 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 right? All the things in my head that I'm having to focus on now, right? Like navigating campus, right? None of the buildings are labeled on the maps that they give us. So it's like, whoa, awesome. Let's go by the numbers and, read the directory and all this stuff, But for someone who's, again, not been socialized to feel acceptable when asking for help, to feel accepted when trying to get resources, it's actually felt like the opposite. It's felt like people have looked down on me or looked at me like I was a monster when I would ask for help or just try to get a better understanding of how society works. So hence me having to just study and observe society from outside, just like one layer removed, right? I wasn't physically having these, interactions with people at school or family or friends or in social environments like, a church or a Girl Scout club or 4-H club or after school activity program, things that I was doing when I was growing up, right? But whatchamacallit? Also being non-binary. Like I have non-binary tattooed on me, right? Two-spirit, indigenous, no gender. That's how I view myself personally. And it's like, again, going back to being like seen, being perceived, being, oh, you're so, I was about to say something from a conversation, but I'm like, oh wait, I don't think I should say that. And then I was like, how do I rephrase that? And I just repeated the sentence twice. Hold on, let me think of how to say this without dragging someone else down. Let me drink something real quick. Okay, so it's the thing about me being perceived in the way that I want to be seen as, because I was not understood growing up. So if I'm constantly being abused physically or emotionally, right? But more so mentally. But anyway, if I'm constantly in environments or relationships that are like that, right? I'm not going to feel safe about my choices. I'm going to constantly second guess myself, overthink things, stay in a bad situation for too long, be hypercritical of my choices. Like, oh, should I have done that? Or no, why did I make that choice in the first place? Or, I don't really like doing this. It seems a little difficult or challenging right now. I want to give up, right? That type of thing. So going from that to being enrolled in a degree plan at a university and potentially, living on my own soon, but I'm living on my own technically right now because the family and support system that was here that I thought would be for me over time, since I have moved back from Virginia to Oklahoma, has completely removed itself. And the universe and life has actually made their lives a lot busier and a lot harder to take them off of my path. And that's how you know you've grown and evolved. When you have a different perspective about your life, what you're capable of, and the people around you change as well, right? It's a frequency, it's an energy, right? And the more that you view yourself in a manner that is high, like you think highly of yourself, right? Or in a manner that's like, I don't think highly of myself, but I need to kind of fake it till I make it right now because I do still have a vision and a purpose for where I want to go in life. So I need to just stick to the course, right now. And I think that that's paid off finally. And all of the hermit mode type of living and being in my room, being high, just listening to music and watching YouTube, that fun wore off. Overworking myself, working multiple jobs, wore off. And the same thing with the illusion of fear and scarcity and being loved conditionally from family has worn off. And I finally felt excited and happy that I pushed through all of that in life to be where I am today. And I've even gotten to the point of being thankful for the trauma that has happened, because all of that was just energy waiting to be transformed. Waiting to be transformed. And personally, as an alchemist, I always transform. I always evolve, shapeshift, change, transmute, it's my favorite word, the energy that I'm given. And no matter what is around me, no matter what circumstance I'm in, it always works out. And it's funny because I made a mistake. I went to the same class that I have and the same professor, same room, everything, but on a different day, and accidentally attended a class that, wasn't my normal class, right? But there was a student body organization that was speaking to the class as, representatives for this student organization. And guess what? I needed to be there to hear this and to ask the questions. And then after that, I went on my computer and, the teacher was kind of just talking to the class a little bit. He's a very loose, like not strict type of laid back professor, and, just lets the classroom talk. He's not ever said like, hey, you guys are talking too much, like be quiet, or yelled or anything. Like, it's great sometimes, but other times it's like, hey, why are we laughing for 10 minutes, in class? Like, I'd like to learn something, But anyway, too many details, right? I went to that class, and, after the representatives spoke about the student body organization, the teacher was just talking, and I was just on my laptop, like, okay, let me listen while I just check my student education account on, my laptop, right? And I checked my schedule. I was like, okay, is any assignments due? No. Okay, what's the schedule? Oh, I don't have this class today. I made an assumption that I would have this class, but I didn't. I just got a little jumbled up with my scheduling because I have some classes online and some in person. So, yeah. But that was intentional, right? And just before that realization, I was not really focused, right? I was just kind of listening and doing things while the teacher was lecturing in the background. And I'm like, I wonder if I've been overthinking things to the point where it jumbles up my perspective. And I was like, that is actually very true. Because a lot of the relationships and the feedback that I get from people is like, it's aggressive if I do something wrong, but if I ask for help or do something kind, like go out of my way to do something or do an act of service or give someone, hey, here's a tip, blah, 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 right? They're like, oh, I love you with all my heart. I want what's best for you. All these just positive things, right? So again, the thing about being conditionally loved, right? But I left the classroom right after checking my schedule and saying, oh, I'm sorry, I'm actually in the wrong class. But I was able to find the right building where the student body organization was in, and I talked to them for 2 hours. And I got all of the questions answered that I had collected for 2 weeks of being enrolled. And I found out a lot more resources than I was aware of. So it even, sorry, let me rephrase that. It made the whole decision and choice of me wanting to pursue this 4-year degree in sociology, and then the minor in environmental studies, the science, degree. It made me want to pursue that even more because it's like, wait, there's even more possibility than I thought. Wait a minute, and like the whole flower was bloomed open at that point, and I had gotten a scholarship. So this semester is free right now, free. For me, obviously, I have to maintain certain things like a GPA to have the scholarship. But obviously, not going to be an issue if I'm able to focus and get out of toxic environments and into more of what, is in alignment, right? So then after that, right, after that meeting with the student body organization, I was able to meet with a tutor as well at the library. And that's a whole nother storyline going, because it's like, yeah, I've been writing about it because there's a few kind of synchronicities that are happening, and I have meditated on it, and I've gotten the answer from spirit about this person. So I'll leave it at that. But it is a significant connection as well, is the point there. and back to the point though. And I was getting tutoring for writing an essay. As a poet and a writer, and someone who has so much literature, even now in an academic standpoint, I had so much literature and writing that I needed to make videos to get the energy out, and have more space for more things to write about, right? Release to relax. Yeah. So what I was saying was, even my mistakes are meaningful, and they're not really mistakes. Actually, it's my spirit leading me. It's like being in the flow state, right? How they say that for writers or rappers or singers. Being in the flow state is how I've felt since being on campus. And, it's really incredible to be poured into the way that you're pouring into others. It's very much so a nice equal exchange, give and take, right? And it is something that I'm definitely going to cherish and take this experience in fully, and not try to be prideful or stuck up about people's behavior or cleanliness or whatever they're going through, right? Because the fact of the matter is, I'm aligned. So when I'm aligned, the universe shows me physically in the 3D, co-creating with me. I'm co-creating with the universe co-creating with me, right? And I was able, after all of these pauses and these step backs away from family or people or situations that didn't serve me, I'm literally blessed right now, right here, today, standing here, to be someone that is able to close the chapter, turn the page, and open up a new one. Have that flower in bloom. The lotus, fully open, right? My second tattoo. I almost said my first, but this is my second tattoo. I believe. But regardless, the point is, the impact of the knowledge and the change and the circumstances and the hardships and the struggle and the lessons and the attachments and all these things, right, have created a different mindset, which has changed me from having that jumbled up perspective to seeing people clearer. And after I do a few very specific things, in the next few years, you all see the severity and the amount of change that actually had to happen for this to be my life today, here and now. I've already said a bunch of things that are pretty shocking or may seem like, wow, factors to people who have probably never heard my life story or never watched my other videos or things like that. But I go into more depth about spirituality and the balancing of the mind, body, and soul in the live streams from this summer. And I'm going to keep up a lot of the videos to rephrase them and condense them in a more professional manner. because of the fact that I was high, or taking breaks from being high and not in the right mindset completely. And also, I was not taking care of myself. My teeth, you know, we'll just say my dental health has severely declined since smoking and being high for the last few years, whatever the frequency was of times a week or a day even. But I noticed that pattern, and I'm tired. Honestly, I'm quite tired of having to deal with cavities the natural way, or seeing my tongue like super white, or having to constantly clean, like my piercing, the jewelry, um because I'm getting high and just passing out, and then waking up and brushing my teeth, eating a bunch of stuff, smoking or getting high, and then going to sleep, and then again not brushing my teeth. And it's like, that's really just terrible that I was not noticing that before. And similarly, before I had actually, really tried to quit, like the last time, I'm saying before now, like actually quitting, but the last time I tried to quit recently, I was stretching and doing walks daily, and making sure to do some exercise by dancing, somatic movement, stuff like that, and doing yoga and child's pose before I went to sleep, while I was saying my gratitude to the universe. And then, doing some other things to help me relax and release, throughout the week. And it was fine, you know? But if I'm not stimulated mentally and physically to the point where I'm tired, then I stay up till 12, 1, 2, 3 a.m. And that's where I went back, and I'm like, well, maybe I should smoke to calm down enough and go to sleep regularly. And I'm like, okay, sure. Yep, I've been doing that the last few years. Definitely works. Okay. All right, let's do it. And it's just like, why do you think that that's the only option for you? Because you're addicted, Jazziel. And you're addicted to things that are designed to be addictive and toxic and harmful. And that's how money is made, sadly, today in the world for some businesses. But I have, again, gained the higher perspective on the habit and the destructive nature of it for me, and the lack of discipline I had after being on it again. And it served its purpose, it served its time for me, it helped me in the capacity that I needed to. But, excuse me, I've been able to find more of myself and really portray myself correctly, and especially in the things that I say to people. And I do have a sharp tongue and I do have a sharp mind, but I had not been acting on that. Just as I have talked about Buddhism and being a grounding coach and all these things, but I still would lash out at a negative response from my mother or from someone else, just being on campus, living life, right? And I'm like, wow, I need to remember the things that I learned. Absorb emotions is not good for you in the long run. I'm just being silly. But absorbing other people's energy literally just it doesn't do anything beneficial in the long run, right? People may try to think, oh, let me control this other person, or let me just do this to make this person fall in love with me, or let me do this so I can get more resources and have a transactional relationship with someone, right? But in the long run, none of that lasts. Literally none of that lasts, right? A relationship where someone's controlling you and all of your life decisions for you, right? Making them for you, doing the choices. making the hard choices for you, it doesn't last very long. The person is going to get sick and pass away quicker than if they did not, get in a relationship with this person in the first place, right? Similarly, if you're in a toxic work environment and your boss or supervisor is constantly making your choices for you and ridiculing you, the result of that is you're going to get fired after, whatever their grace period is. Some places it's a week, a few weeks, some places 3 months to a year. Depends on the job, right? Context. And similarly, a relationship that is toxic or that changes your perspective of yourself is going to make you more unstable as a result of that. Either unstable mentally or unstable in the way that you portray yourself with the actions that you take, right? So self-sabotaging behavior also, right, you guessed it, does not last long in the long term, right? So what types of relationships and actions and habits should you be taking, right? What is the highest perspective that you can have on your life right now? And that is the perspective that everything changes, right? All is temporary, everything changes, everything in life goes through cycles, and everything on this planet goes through life, death, and rebirth cycles as well. Right? We know this. So, the perspective that you could take is to be a sociologist and study and measure and test and observe society and your surroundings, right? Your relationships, social behavior, what influences social behavior, what makes up culture, right? Or you could simply say, I don't care about people's perspectives. I don't care about their cultures. I don't care about their beliefs. I don't care about their social behavior. I'm not going to focus on anyone else. I have bigger things to do, and I'm going to focus on myself and reach that goal. And keep just walking down this path, this road, this route, this hall, this whatever you want to call it, but just keep walking down life. Just keep walking. That's all you really do anyway. If you die today, you pass on, right? Before your next phase that you go into, and you look at your life, right? You're just going to look at yourself walking down your life, your lifespan. You're going to see yourself crawling as a baby, learning to walk, and then walking, and then running, and then sprinting through your life until you slow down again, and you walk, and then you pick up the pace, and then you keep going, and then you start that jog, and then you start running again until you get, that sprinting, and then you get tired and you slow down. You might take baby steps because the universe is telling you, hey, you're going too fast. You're going too fast. Slow down. Don't even take a step forward. Take a fraction of a step forward right now. And then that's what you do. Take fewer steps forward. Right? And you look at your life throughout all the cycles and the seasons and the things that you had to walk through or baby step through or sprint and jog through. Yeah? You following? Yeah? So after, you pass on, that's what your life will look like. All the things that happen to you, the people, the circumstances, the environments, the relationships, the habits, the perspectives, all these things, right? Every single thing that we go through, all the feelings, all of it, right? all the changes to our body, all of it, all of it, all of it, right? And we will notice that our spirit and our physical body do the opposite things, but together, right? Together, the body and the spirit leading the body being the vessel and the vehicle for the spirit to evolve. Right? Yeah, you get it. Is something that works in harmony even though they do opposite things. Take perspective. Grounding. Right? Zooming out, seeing the bigger picture. So when you start off, right, when you're born, talks about crawling to walking to running, right? You are pure. You want to create. You want to express yourself. You want to be loud. You want to be the very most authentic version of yourself. Yeah? And you're excited to interact with people. Yeah? And then later on in life, as life starts picking up the pace, you start to change and morph, and you have good days and bad days and so-so days and difficult days and really fun days and all these things, to just pass the time, right? That your body's bound by time, right? You age, because I'm not aging, right? But you age as you get older, right? Those little baby teeth become adult teeth, right? Those marks on your body start to stretch a little bit as your skin changes and evolves and, is in whatever shape that it takes, right? No judgment. But it kind of slowly dies. And slowly, you lose that innocence. And slowly, you become less authentic. Until the universe or life wants to help you change. So they tell your spirit messages, and they give your spirit signs so that your body recognizes them. And over time, your spirit that was dense or hardened or fragmented or not evolved becomes more evolved and becomes lighter and a higher frequency around it. And it picks up things quicker, and you understand and comprehend, and you create a natural light that grows brighter, till it sparks your soul and ignites your whole body. And before you leave this planet, you have to ascend to a certain point to be able to leave, right? Yes? We know this. We understand reincarnation and the cycles of life, death, and rebirth, and what we all go through in different stages, right? Different parts of our life, different evolutions, let's just say, of our life. But one thing that is true is that the human body needs the soul to balance the spirit. So when your body's out of balance and your soul isn't able to get those messages to you, you don't evolve spiritually to ascend. So you're going to keep getting these lessons, and you're going to maybe take these baby steps and maybe take these jogs and maybe just stop and stand still. Catch your breath for a little bit of time, but you're still on this timeline of aging out and passing on, right? While your soul is on the opposite, right? Your spirit has a different starting point It goes from being fragmented and dense and attached to things to over time opening up and releasing and letting go to rise up, right? I'm gonna end this soon. I'm gonna eat something. But this is food for the soul. Yeah? Food for the soul. This is the message that your spirit may be trying to send to you, right? And back to the example though. The human body, as it is right now, as it's designed, is very intricate, very interactive with other things, right? And that design is by purpose. Just like our soul is designed by purpose, and our spirits are designed very intricately. So they're all working together, mind, body, and soul, right? To create that balance, that inner harmony to uplift yourself. Excuse me. Confirmation, oh wow. So even if your body withers and grows old and gets sick from time to time and feels off, it matters what your spirit and your soul feels and is telling you more than how your body or your temporary state of being is trying to convince you otherwise. And it's really something that we have not been taught this. Previous generations did not understand the significance of their soul. But it's all right. Because now, today, here, there are people like me who are willing to speak freely and openly. Right? And as a psychic, and as a shaman, by blood, on both sides, actually, I found out recently, and as someone who is just in the human experience, along with others, having their human experience right now, I do not worry about my soul's evolution. I don't even have to plead or beg or wish anymore, because my spirit has evolved enough to become lighter, to activate when it needs to be fully in the present moment, in that flow state. I've been able to crystallize parts of myself. Yes. And you know, it's quite amazing how lighter you do feel once you listen to your spirit instead of your flesh. Because your flesh could tell you, hey, I need to go to sleep at this time. I need to do something to go to sleep at this time. What can I do? And your flesh can choose that drug, that toxic choice, that pattern of behavior that doesn't take care of itself. Or you could say, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm tired of reliving this experience with different people, different scenarios. I'm tired of feeling this heavy. And you just release it. And when you don't worry about money, and you're never worried about an opinion, and you see things for, the right lens, the right perspective, then turn your life around. 180. And it's really exciting to just articulate myself in a more mature way. And I'm actually happy that I've gone through what I've gone through again. Because immediate follow-up, because if I weren't sexually abused and raped, I wouldn't have known that I'm a sexual healer. And that my intimate interactions with people literally heal them and release their heaviness from their spirit. That's why I became celibate. I was tired of feeling people's heaviness. Even if it did lift it out of their spirit, guess where it went? Right. We can sit here and guess all day, but let's just cut to the chase. I had to transfer the energy and lift the density from my spirit as well after that encounter. So I learned about energy transference through sexual exchanges. And I learned about transactional relationships as well. So I said, that's a gift. I need to cherish it and protect it. I'm going to give this to spirit. And whenever this sexual healing needs to take place, it will be with my divine counterpart. So I'm going to stop doing that and just keep it to myself. And guess what? I don't feel energetically heavy or drained. I don't even think about these men and these young adults that were in my life before, in this overwhelming space in my mind, in the back of my mind, but in my mind about, did they actually like me? Did they actually feel this way towards me? Did they this or that or this or that, right? It's no more of that. None. Mental clarity, uplifting, lighter, right? And the same with another gift of mine, the gift of speaking and being an orator and a messenger, right? When you are in connection with the wrong messengers and the wrong influences and the wrong substances, your speech starts to become inauthentic and starts to become denser. And it drains people. And then I went through my cycles of abusing my gifts, of speaking and sharing messages from the wrong messengers. And guess what happened to me? I got all of that back to me times 10. Yeah. So I learned that if I'm sicking this energy onto other people, then someone's going to sick that energy back onto me one day. Huh? Wow, it doesn't feel too good. Exactly. That was the point of the lesson. Just because someone doesn't make you feel good does not mean you manipulate their free will or send energy towards them. Do not try to correct human behavior. That, again, is the universe's job. And the universe will share things in your spirit when you're ready for the message. And when you're ready to evolve, the right circumstances line up. You don't have to force anything ever. That's playing God. That's playing Creator. That's playing the universe. Trying to make and force and create and do things. To just have your will or your perspective be the highest. But again, I learned that lesson. I did learn that lesson as well. And another thing I was attacked with. Feeling worthy enough. Not having to perform for love. Right? And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because my demeanor and natural conversation and presence is healing. It is nourishing. It is enlightening. And I don't have to force someone to wake up or to change or to evolve because it naturally has happened over time. And I got that lesson back to me as well. People started to, hey, you need to change, you need to do this, you need to do that. As I was telling others at one point. And not focusing on myself. That's called spiritual bypassing. Yeah. So when you need to do your soul's growth and work internally, and you don't do it, you're going to get that back towards you. Whatever you're putting out, you're going to get that back towards you. Yeah. And another one of my gifts, right? We went through the sexual healing. We went through the speaking. We went through the presence, the energy. But another one of my gifts is sharing messages through writing. And I was not doing that. Right? I was focusing on other people's writing and messages instead of my own. And what happened when I did? I created a whole workshop and working on some other literature, obviously, but I believed in myself. Yeah. And that's what happens. When you stop creating the environment for density and heaviness and inauthenticity, then the universe stops giving you those lessons and taking things away from you to teach you, right? And you know, it's really incredible how powerful we actually are, right? I'm gonna uncross my arms even as I say this, but it's incredible how powerful we are, because if we looked at our lives and seen how much we have overcome and changed and beaten and evolved from and transmuted the energy to something positive from a negative, right? We would not be so hard on other people. We would not be so hard on ourselves, right? And we would have a better comprehension of our purpose in life. And I'm going to leave it there because as a grounding coach and a holistic health practitioner, but just a, again, person going through the human experience, as we all are right now, I believe that when I got off of social media, I was able to collect a lot more of my energy, and I am just on YouTube frequently now. I check Facebook every now and then for like work, business related stuff, but what I pour my energy into flourishes. That's what I learned throughout my life. That's what I know about myself to be a fact. Yep. All right. There's some replenishment there. Excuse me. So, with that being said, links in my bio. I have a contact email in there as well. I have a way more in-depth description of the titles and the initiations and the things that I have learned to become my highest version of myself. So if you need help with spiritual mentorship, with physical mentorship, or mental mentorship, emotional clearing, right? But energy work as a whole, right? aura specialist here, right? I can read your whole biofield and, excuse me, change the energy. Excuse me, in a positive way, I'm saying. But yeah, again, all of my credentials or things that I'm skilled in, let's just say, that I'm willing to help people by sharing my gifts. The link is in my bio if you would like to do one-on-one counseling, or if you just have questions and you don't, want to do a full, like, okay, we're going to be consistent and do this for this amount of time, and you just have a few questions, you could send me an email or, email me for consultation. But if you would like to change your mind and create a new positive mindset that helps you go for your purpose in life, let me know. If you would like to detach from toxic environments, thoughts, substances, and habits, let me know and I can help you. And if you would like to evolve on a soul level and interpret the things that your soul is trying to tell you to be able to ascend, right? That non-physical part of the human experience, right? We still have to interact with things in the spiritual, non-seeable realm, right? But we don't have to worry. That's the point. Don't worry. Everything is in order. Even if it feels like it isn't, just look at it from a different perspective. But if you need help with that, mental clearing, emotional clearing, counseling that way, I am a certified life coach. I can help you with that as well. And your thoughts dictate your life, right? And your body and how you take care of it dictates your health, right? The mind-body link with the gut and the brain and the heart in the middle of it all three connections right there. The body, the soul, and the mind. Making up the aura and the biofield that protects the spirit through frequency. If you need help with any of that, again, if you are on the frequency of understanding auras and your auric field or your biofield or toroidal field, as science would love to name all these different names for the same thing. But if you would like to get help with that and read your energy and feel less dense, more authentic, and just on your purpose, feel free to let me know and contact me for, counseling, coaching, care, let's just say. And if anyone has been through anything that I have been through as well, paralleling my experiences, right? I want to say I love you and thank you for continuing to move forward in life. And it does get better, and life has a habit of going through cycles, again, of life, death, and rebirth. So you may feel like you're in death right now, but you may be reborn in a month as something that brings life back in later on. For yourself or for your community, and you might go back again into these cycles, right? So just understanding more. By having awareness and mindfulness, of course, but also by integrating these things and living in your purpose. Not just being too in your head and not just being overly focused on your body, but the middle point, the middle path, the middle ground. And, I'm very excited for all of the people that I'm going to meet. Again, I have educational playlist on my Chanel right now that I've linked on my business card through a QR code. So yeah, if you, found my page that way through the QR code, hello, thank you for listening to the full extent. explore my page, stick around. Again, if you're someone who is just brought here from the algorithm or the universe, welcome, hello. And if you're someone who's watched my whole journey and you were subscribed for from a while ago, from last year, from whenever, right? Um, 2 years ago now. But thank you. Thank you for watching my soul's evolution. Thank you for watching my spirit ascend. And thank you for watching my mind evolve and my body become healthier as a result. And I want to say peace to you all out there. And headset poo.